don't go, and pay very close attention. Because what I'm about to share is something you already know in your heart, but have been taught to forget. You will never be controlled by anything or anyone again if you can just remember this powerful secret. It's a spiritual truth that goes so deep that you feel it. Not because it's bad, but because it's so powerful, this secret has been kept hidden. Masters from long ago, like Thoth, knew exactly where this key was. This isn't just old history, though. I am going to show you that this secret is the basis of quantum reality. Your soul will remember who you are as soon as you understand this. As if by magic, all the parts of your life that feel lost, stuck, or broken will start to get back in order. It's like you feel empty sometimes, right? That deep pain that you're missing something important? That's not a mistake. It's a message. That sound is your soul remembering. The world has taught you things that have made you forget who you really are. That which you call yourself was taught to you and is not really you. You forget, you obey, and you hide your light as long as you live in that forgetting. That changes today. I'm going to show you where this secret is kept. But first, you need to know this. The love, peace, and approval you're looking for are all already inside you. There is a potential in your own quantum field that is just waiting for you to wake it up. I will also tell you where that memory is stored at the end of this. No, not in an old temple or a dusty book, in something you carry around with you all the time. Are you all set? You can't get rid of this sound once you hear it. You can't go back. Do one thing before we cross this line. More than just clicking a button is what it takes to subscribe to this channel. You are making a conscious choice. This is your way of telling the quantum field that you are ready to stay tuned to this frequency of memory. Do it now, and let's start. There is a key that can free your beautiful soul. Now it's time to show everyone where it is. And the coolest thing is, the same thing was talked about by civilizations that were split apart by huge oceans and mountains and never met. How is that possible? Not even a phone or the internet worked. Some of the smartest people in Egypt, India, and Greece still said that the soul doesn't awaken at birth. It goes to sleep. In the world we live in now, birth is the start. But in these old cultures, birth was the start of forgetting. Quantum physicists now call this place the unified field or the quantum field. They thought your soul came from a place of pure potential. Everything was clear in this realm. There was no separation, and you were linked to everything. It was your quantum self that was alive and full of endless possibilities. But when you came into this body, a veil was put over your eyes. What you used to know was hidden by a fog. In Egypt, Thoth said that the body wasn't the question. The problem is that you think you are only your body. Indian sages called this forgetting Maya, which means the great illusion. The observer effect in quantum physics is the same thing. It makes you think you are a separate observer instead of a part of the whole field. Are you seeing the link? The truth is the same for everyone. But not everyone got this written down. It was taught in secret, from master to disciple, in temple rooms that only a few people were allowed to enter. Why? Because they knew some people weren't ready yet. Any normal person, still stuck in their unhealed wounds, could get to this information and twist it in their mind. Instead of changing reality, they could use it to feel better about themselves, to control others, or to escape it. They knew that the heart has to be open in order to have real wisdom. Just wanting to know isn't enough. You need to be ready to live what you learn. That's why silence was the watchman. Those who were looking for quick answers missed out on something. People who stayed in the silence, on the other hand, started to hear something that wasn't written down anywhere. As you feel this truth, think about who else needs to hear it. Sharing this video is more than just sending a link. It's also sending a powerful message. Along with other souls who are vibrating at the same frequency, you are creating a quantum entanglement that helps to create a field of awakening for everyone. That you came from somewhere else is true if you can feel it. Say in the comments, "I am ready to lift the veil." Make this statement about yourself by writing these words. It's telling your soul that you're ready to see and don't want to live in the fog of forgetfulness any longer. What did happen in those temples, though? What could help a soul remember where it came from? What was the secret process that changed them for good? That's what you're about to find out. We're about to go through those doors and show you what happened in the hidden rooms where your old self was left behind. When those temple doors finally shut behind the chosen few, what was going on inside wasn't a show for everyone to see. There was no sound and no light. The soul had to forget who it thought it was before it could remember who it was. This was the big crossing. They were taken to a room that didn't have any light or sound. It was like someone led them into a deep silence that made even their thoughts fade. Over time, something inside them started to fall apart. It wasn't the body itself. It was the character, the mask. Their stories about who they were, like their name, their job, their status, and what they thought, started to fall apart. This is known as decoherence in the field of quantum physics. The old you starts to fall apart. This is the identity you've been observing into existence every day. You've been collapsing over and over into the probability wave of your old self. It finally loses its power. Thoth taught that this was the most important time. When the ego realizes it's not in charge, it fights back right away. It throws them fear, doubt, and false visions to keep them stuck in their old self. This decoherence feels like death to the ego. Please honor the urge you felt to let go of the old you, if you've ever felt it. Say yes in the comments below. I am surrendering my old story. This should be a holy act that tells the universe that you are bravely entering the empty, still space where your true self is waiting to come out. The most powerful thing about the process is that the initiate didn't learn anything new. No one talked about what life is all about. They weren't told what to do by a master. Because real knowledge and memory don't come from outside sources. It shows up when all the lies fall away. What's left is what was there all along, but was forgotten. Just for a moment, picture yourself facing that complete emptiness. No names, beliefs, or stories to hold on to. You alone and naked in front of your own mind. For many, this was too much to bear. Some gave up, but the few who stayed didn't forget. It was a truth that was so deep that words could not describe it. For a moment of silence, it seemed like everything made sense. But Thoth warned, it's dangerous to go through that portal without being ready. If you have deep trauma and fear that you haven't dealt with, suddenly connecting with the vastness of your true quantum self might be too much for you. It might break your mind. You could get lost if you crossed without being ready, because you can't go back and hide what's on the other side. What if, though, your mind tries to change what your soul saw, making a new illusion instead of freedom? Click the like button right now if you understand this important truth. Let that one click be the physical thing that grounds this new awareness. You are telling your energy field, I am ready to break through the illusion. In order to avoid this, the masters said, do not seek this out of curiosity. It's possible that you'll get even more confused if you try to remember who you are before you clear your heart. It's clear there is a problem now that you know what could happen if you remember without being ready. A problem that you can't see that controls almost everything in your life. It was called The Lie of the Self by Thoth. First, there's this wall. It's not outside of you. It's inside. It's everything you think you are added up. The problem is that you were trained from a very young age. Your boss told you what to think about love, getting things done, failing, and yourself. You thought it was true. It wasn't because you were weak, but because you were innocent and didn't know how to question it. How many times today have you stopped to think about your own thoughts? How often do you ask yourself, where did that thought come from? Because most of what you think wasn't made by you. They happen automatically over and over. These are plans. Neuroscientists call these neural pathways, which are like superhighways in your brain that always fire in the same way. Every day, you collapse the same probability wave, which makes the same reality, feelings, and limits. You use up all of your energy like an app that runs in the background. This is the start of the first real practice. It's easy, clear, and really tough. Pay attention to a bad thought that comes up. You know the ones. I'm not good enough. I'll always be alone, and that will never work out for me. Now ask the question Thoth taught his followers. Is this really mine? Or did someone give it to me? That one question can break down walls you've been carrying for years, because it breaks your heart to know that so much of your pain was learned. There is no destruction. Freedom is what it is. If this hits home for you and you're ready to break free from old habits, stop and say this in the comments. My thoughts are not who I am. These words should hold a strong vibration and remind you that you are taking back your power and separating your beautiful, vast consciousness from the mind's learned limitations. When you question your thoughts, they break apart like a chain. But be kind to yourself, because the ego will fight to protect this false identity. It will warn you that giving up these beliefs is risky. You'll lose who you are without them. But the truth is that those thoughts were never you. And when the old stories stop, there is silence in that space. That quiet might feel scary at first. You've been making noise in it your whole life. But you'll start to understand that silence isn't empty. It's space. It's the 0-point field, which is the empty space of potential. There is room for something new to come into being. Or rather, for something old to come back. Because when the first illusion falls, you start to wake up from what's been sleeping inside. A memory that is quiet, a reflection of who you really are. And as it goes up, everything you thought you knew about life starts to slip away. There's no way to live like before. The old arguments don't make sense anymore. The old plays look small. The outside world is still the same, but you've changed on the inside. That change is just the start. Press the like button when you feel that way. That's how you should think about it. Your conscious power is being added to the probability wave of freedom and liberation as you energetically like this new reality. It's a strong sign of your resonance. Something amazing starts to happen when that memory, that echo, starts to come back to life. For the first time, you understand that you don't have to use your mind to know something. A quiet awareness that doesn't think about or judge anything. It just knows. It was known as the single eye by Thoth. It's not a physical eye, but a way of seeing things where truth is felt before it's thought. You may have already been through this. It's like when you walk into a room, you just know something is wrong. Or you meet someone and can tell what they're really feeling, even though they're being polite. That's the only eye. That's your quantum intuition getting information from the field without using your five senses. As we know from quantum physics, this is the real observer. Not just your eyes, but also your mind. Why does this sense not work well for most people? We are taught to believe only what we can see and prove. People value logic and facts. It forgot about the feeling that has always been there. The eyes can see the top. The one eye, which is your quantum awareness, can feel the truth, the vibration, and the energy below the surface. Here is the next easy practice that will change your life. Close your eyes for a short time. Don't keep looking for answers. Stop making noise in your head. Do not expect big things. Keep quiet for 10 seconds. 10 seconds when you don't look, think, or expect anything. Feel something. Something comes out of that tiny bit of silence. It might feel like nothing at first. That nothing is everything, though. It is the quantum field of infinite possibility that nothing is. Your soul is talking to you if you felt a change, a small opening, or peace in that 10-second silence. Let it know you hear it by saying in the comments, "I am opening my inner eye." Your words should be a promise to yourself that you will now listen to the intuitive, quiet knowing that has always been there, waiting patiently beyond the noise of your mind. That's when the single eye wakes up in the silence. When you clear your mind of all the noise, you realize that something bigger is going on inside you. Nothing to call it and no reason to explain it. Why is this so important? Because as long as you think about answers, all you'll find are old ideas and ways of doing things. But the answers don't come as thoughts when you start to feel with this direct way of seeing things. They show up as clear. Something you know without having to say it. The way people see things is just the beginning. It's like letting air into a door that has been shut for a long time. Even though light is coming in, there's something more hidden on the other side. Because the first step is to understand the truth. It's a different journey to live from it. You will need something that no one else can give you for the next step. It's the vibration that only your soul has. There's something moving inside you right now that's been there since the beginning. It's not a voice. You can't hear that sound. It is a frequency of silence, a vibration that is so unique to you that most people don't even notice it. Thoth called it the name that can't be seen, not something like John or Mary. Without a single letter, your sound says everything about who you are. Everything in quantum reality is a vibration. There is a frequency for everything. Your fears run on a certain frequency. Your happiness has a frequency. But your core frequency is what's really going on. The mark of your soul. You may have felt it too. That brief moment of calm when everything seems fine for a second. Or that strong gut feeling that you get out of the blue when your mind is foggy and you know straight ahead. That is your true frequency, your invisible name, calling to you. Your signature is unique and can't be found anywhere else in the world. It's only yours. It has been calling to you ever since you were born. But the world's noise, worries, and other things that took people's attention away added many layers of static to that beautiful, clear signal. But it didn't go away. It went silent and waited for you to make enough noise to hear it again. When you start to tune in to that frequency inside you, the answers you were looking for out there start to fade away, because you now know they were always there. That empty feeling wasn't caused by a lack of something outside of yourself. It was just the feeling of being cut off from your own source. But pay attention. This is really important. It does more than just bring peace when that true vibration wakes up. Everything that's been hidden inside you starts to come out in the open. Even the parts you tried to forget. What hurt you, what scared you, and what memories you buried so deeply. It all starts to come to the surface. The frequency of your soul does more than just remind you of who you are. It also shows what you're not. Press the like button if you've ever experienced this, or if you can feel that inner frequency stirring inside of you right now. You can say yes to your soul by doing that. It's an energetic vote for your true vibration, which makes it stronger in your life. You need to go through that door next to it. It's not just about light and peace to remember who you are. It's about being brave enough to see the parts of yourself that you've been hiding. It is inevitable that the healing process will begin when the sound of your soul grows stronger. The memories of what hurt you come with the memories of what was bright. For there is no real light that doesn't also show what's been hidden. A lot of people give up here. Finding peace is simple. It's tough to look at our own pain. To Thoth, this was the cleansing of the soul. But this isn't a prison sentence. This is a normal recalibration. Think of your soul as a clean river. Life has added rocks, trash, and mud over time. The flow is still there, but it can't get through. The cleaning is just the water rising and pushing all that trash to the top so it can be thrown away. What are these hurts? These are the hurts you tried to forget. You told yourself those hurtful words over and over again for years. There were times when you felt like you weren't good enough or loved. In your energy field and cellular memory, all of that was saved. But here's the most important thing I learned. You are only continuing to suffer because you are ignoring it. The pain gets worse every time you try to run away from it. A heavy weight builds up every time you hide how you feel. However, when you look at it without running, something different takes place. The pain starts to get less clear. It starts to break down. It's not because you fight it, but because you finally accept what you have been denying your whole life with love. Telling that hurt part of you, "I see you," is like that. That really did happen. It did hurt. But it doesn't make me who I am. I'm now here with you. That's when the pain loses its power. It turns into a memory instead of a jail. As an act of deep self-love to honor this brave work, click the like button. Through your own quantum field, you are energetically sealing this intention and sending a wave of healing and coherence out into the world. Do this simple thing to recognize your bravery. Do you know what happens when the cleaning and recalibration process begins? Your soul starts to run your life. Your mind stops being in charge for the first time and turns into a tool. Your mind, or ego, has been in charge up until now. It told you what to fear and what to believe. But the soul doesn't scream when it wakes up. It goes on in silence, without a doubt. Peace be with you. Now is when you feel a silence inside you that you've never felt before. It's not nothing. It's being full. Being free from thoughts is what it means, not having any thoughts at all. Now the question comes up. What happens to the mind that was in charge for so long if the soul is now in charge? Will it just move out of the way? Or will it try to get back in charge? You've been taking away the veils up until now. That being said, there is no going back once those veils fall and your soul truly awakens. It's no longer automatic how you live your life. Being conscious instead of being afraid starts to rule your life. This was what Thoth called the waking trance. Do not mistake this for a hypnotic trance in which you forget who you are. The opposite is true. You are more aware and awake than ever before. No longer is your soul your true quantum observer, swayed by the storm of anxious thoughts, or the waves of emotion. It sees and feels everything. It feels like you're in the middle of a loud crowd, but there's a pocket of deep silence inside. You can't be pulled away from your center. It's not a way to get away from life. It means being fully present in life. Now that you're not a character stuck in a story, but the conscious creator watching the scene play out, you still have problems. You don't believe every thought that comes to your mind anymore. You still feel things, but you don't automatically react to them. You feel things, but they don't swallow you up. And then the time changes, which is very strange. That feeling of always being in a hurry and never having enough time goes away. While you are fully in the now, time seems to stretch out. It gets deeper with each moment. You could be doing the dishes and feel calm in a way that didn't seem possible before. The feelings that used to control you are no longer strong. You don't let anger control you, you just notice it. You can't move because of your anxiety because you only think about the future. You don't drown in sadness. You accept it without identifying with it. I am here, your soul is telling you. All of this fits into me. I'm not easily shook. You can choose for the first time in that space. Not respond or repeat, but pick. This is real freedom. There is an observer like you picking which probability wave to break right now. This is something the ego could never give you because it is based on automatic habits. The spirit is free. It looks, it understands, and it acts with clarity. And the way you see other people may change the most. There are no longer any enemies or competitors for you. Everybody is carrying their own pain and confusion, just like you were. And that makes real compassion come out. Is it possible to live like this all the time, though? Is the question no one wants to ask. When you're deep in thought, it seems simple. What about when you're stuck in traffic? At work? In a fight with your family? Here's where the real test starts. It's easy to remember who you are when you're alone. Going back into the world and all the noise is hard because you have to remember who you are. Thoth said, "The true alchemist is the one who walks awake among the asleep and doesn't let them put him back to sleep. Things will go on without you. It keeps going with the demands, the deadlines, and the scary news. Along with that, the people around you will try to pull you back into the old game, often at a lower, unconscious frequency. Your soul's coherence or the chaos of the world will be in charge at this point. In real life, this starts out small. The first step is being aware of being there. Being where your body is what this means. You should be there if you're washing dishes. Pay attention when someone is talking to you. Don't let your thoughts wander to the past or the future. The second step is to be quiet. Even when people are arguing loudly, there can be a quiet place inside. There's no need to keep quiet. It has to do with not automatically reacting. That short break between the stimulus and the response is what it is. That pause is where your power is. Now is the time to make a choice. The outside world is always loud, but your center is always quiet. If you're going to hold that sacred pause and choose your response, say this again in the comments. My thoughts are not who I am. In the storm, let this be your anchor. It will remind you that you are the sky, not the passing cloud. Pay attention to what you eat is the third point. Your vibration is raised by everything you see, hear, and say. Your frequency goes down if you feed on fear. Being around people who only complain makes you feel tired. Picking and choosing what you think about is a spiritual defense. This changes your life when you do it regularly. You are now more stable in situations that used to throw you off. When someone used to bother you, They no longer do because your peace doesn't depend on them. Though, Thoth warned, the mind hates being out of control. It's going to try to get back on its throne. It will say in a whisper, "This is silly." In real life, this doesn't work. You need to remember who is in charge at that time. Something amazing will happen if you keep doing this. Your understanding grows. You start to remember things that you thought were gone, memories that will last beyond this life. You could have very clear dreams, a strong knowing about something, or a strong sense of déjà vu. This isn't making up stories. In this moment, your soul, or quantum self, starts to connect with the bigger records. It's like you're getting tangled up with other parts of your own consciousness that are in different places and times. Now there's a new question. If these memories are coming back to you, what else does your soul know that you don't know? It's not easy to figure out what to do when those deeper memories start to come back. They show up as pieces, feelings, and old sounds that you can't put together in your mind. A lot of people trip here. They run outside because they don't know what's inside. They look for books, gurus, teachers, and more courses because they need someone to help them make sense of how they feel. They give up their power to someone else. That was not clear to Thoth, though. The real master, the only one who can show you the way through the hidden paths no one else can see, has always been inside you. The master is inside. It's your own quantum self. This is how you connect to the unified field. And it doesn't talk like a person. It talks to you through your awakened mind. Being sure of something comes before having a thought. That calm feeling that tells you you're on the right track, even when you have to make a tough choice. So people who only live in the noise of their minds don't notice it. How do you get to this voice? That is not by looking for more details, but by not asking as many questions outside and making the room quieter inside. Your anxiety is not a match for the inner master. It wants you to be still. So here's the task. Before you make a choice, pause, close your eyes, take deep breaths, feel instead of thinking. Which comes first? In that empty space before your mind starts to argue, what comes up? That's the voice. It won't try to turn you around. It will just show you. You'll realize that this voice doesn't always make you feel better over time. It sometimes points to the hardest way to do something, because the master inside you doesn't care about your comfort. It wants you to grow. It wants you to remember. This is where the toughest test starts. The mind knows it's really losing control when this voice starts to speak to you. When that happens, it sets its smartest trap. It wears a spiritual mask, says in a low voice, "Look at you. You're not the same anymore. You know more than other people. You are awake." And if you think that, you'll fall into the spiritual ego trap, which many seekers fall into. Now we've reached the most delicate and dangerous part of the trip. The person Thoth called the last enemy. The enemy isn't very loud. It sounds like a whisper. Many people think it's the voice of enlightenment because it's so soft and seductive. It's the ego, not the part of you that wants power or money. This is the ego that wears a light mask. Thoth said that the last trap is not in the world. It's in the quiet pride that comes up when you think you're unique because you woke up. Right at the end, this is where the seeker gets lost. Because not knowing isn't the real prison. It's pride that looks like wisdom. Your ego stays with you. It only changes clothes. It takes off the mask of vanity and puts on the clothes of purity. However, it's still feeding on one thing behind the mask: separation. I am an awakened being, different from those who are still asleep, is the moment you fall into the trap. Because there is no unity where there is separation. You can't truly remember something if there isn't unity. This is why so many people who try to find light end up making more darkness. They see the world and feel better than everyone else. They get information and transformation mixed up. They forget that real light doesn't shout. It doesn't need to be flashy. It is what it is. How can you be sure you're in this? Thoth said that the spiritual ego shows up when you want to tell other people how to live their lives. When you judge people in silence for being stuck in habits you've broken. Real light doesn't need anyone to follow it. It walks quietly. Watch how you react. When someone asks you about your beliefs, do you stay calm or get defensive? This part of you always needs to be right. No one needs to be persuaded by awakened consciousness. It knows that each soul has its own time. The need to be someone feeds the ego. That someone, even if they are a spiritual person. You've reached true transcendence when you let go of that need too. Before you try to be someone else, you just are. You don't have to fight your ego to get rid of it. You just stop giving it food. How does it get food? Compare and contrast. It's good for your ego to stop comparing your journey to others, but now comes the last test. Do you love someone who is lost even though they don't need to change? You have a divine spark inside you. Can you see it in someone who is just starting out on their journey? If you said yes, you have started to take off the last mask of the ego. Because love doesn't wait for things to change. It loves now. This is the important thing. If this truth about love that doesn't depend on conditions just set you free from the last trap of the ego, click the like button. Let it be a physical reminder of this moment of breakthrough, bringing this higher, more loving frequency into your life. This stage isn't the end. It's getting ready for the last return. At this point, there is no longer a I or a other, just being. Are you ready to give up everything, even your spiritual self? Something quiet takes place at that moment. There aren't any fireworks. The ego was hoping for a big show to bring about enlightenment. But what seems to be there is a simple, deep silence inside. That's when you understand. You've always had everything you were looking for, fighting for, and striving for inside you. There was never any pride in it. It was like it was always there and never went away. This is what Thoth called conscious unity. Non-locality is the word for this in quantum terms. This is the end of the separation. You know that you're not a very small part of things. You're like the whole ocean in a drop. It's no longer you and the universe. Everything is one unified field of consciousness that flows easily. There is no longer a need to find answers because you know that life itself is the answer, in all its beautiful, messy forms. No one is left to ask any more questions. Being is the only thing there is. What does this look like in real life? In a way that might surprise you. You're not floating. When you breathe with presence, you are in conscious unity. When you drink a glass of water and understand what a miracle it is, it's in every everyday action that it becomes holy. God is no longer separate from everyday life. It's life. There's no need for rituals to feel close. You only need to be fully present where you are. Thoth said, "To live naturally is the highest form of knowledge, not with apathy, but with giving up, to enjoy life as it is, without trying to change it, since there is no resistance in that state, and the energy of the source flows freely where there is no stop. In this state or not, you are still a person. You still feel. you are still having trouble. Now, though, everything takes place in a bigger area, somewhere where pain doesn't hold you back. Either happiness or pain is just a short-term reflection of the same eternal consciousness. A lot of people get this wrong. You don't have to leave the world to return to the source. It changes the way you live there. When you get to this point, when it's quiet, Thoth tells you the secret he never wrote down. He told them the secret in a whisper. There is no code for the secret. It's not a method. It is so much deeper and much simpler than that. Nothing can be lost in the soul, Thoth said. You can remember everything. There it is. That's the important thing. All of it has been inside you since the beginning, before you were born. All the knowledge, all the memories, and all the links. The truth never left you, even if everything around you tried to make you forget. Only the cover was there. Think of your soul as a lake that is deep and quiet. Distractions, fears, and confusion are like waves that move on the surface of the world. But the lake is always calm, deep down, always holding the truth in its purest form. That quiet depth is still there even when you feel lost, empty, or broken, waiting with patience. Thoth taught that forgetting is just a cloud that goes away. The soul will always remember things. You might have thought you were your pain, your trauma, or your mistakes. That was only a story, though. In your core, in your essence, you never lost anything. It was just wrapped up. And how do you get to it? You can't try. Not by looking for, but by hearing. By going into that deep, inner silence. The soul doesn't yell. It talks softly. And you have to turn down the noise to hear it. It's not a mental process to remember things. There is a spiritual recognition. There's no need to find facts. It's about putting a light on in a dark room. The furniture is not made by the light. It shows what was there all along. What's the most beautiful part? Your soul doesn't judge you if you ran all your life. It doesn't make you bad. You can remember it as soon as you stop looking at the outside world and start feeling what's inside. Now, finally, something happens after all of this. The mind is calmed, the illusions are gone, and the forgotten memory is touched. It's not an idea. There is a living memory there. Everything changes after this experience. This has always been the promise. You understand that you are not the character. You're not the fear. You're not the hurt. You were the one who saw everything. You're like the big, empty sky. The clouds are your thoughts, feelings, and the things that happen in your life. They're not you, though. The clouds never, ever hurt the sky. That's what you are. The real, forbidden secret is here. That person can't be controlled once they remember who they really are. That they are the quantum observer, the sky, or the unified field itself. You can't let fear move you. You can't be controlled by things that are based on not enough. Beliefs that hold you back can't keep you stuck. Every attempt to control the soul just fades away when it remembers, because real power was always inside. It was inside you the whole time. Now this is complete freedom. Freedom from being locked up by something, not freedom to do whatever you want. Your life gets better. No one can take away your calm, even when things are bad. Because the outside world is no longer a threat to your safety. It comes from inside you knowing. This is the real awakening. To stay in touch with the world around them without getting lost in it. To dance with life, but never forget that there is silence watching. There's nothing more to look for. Because everything you were looking for was inside you the whole time. Now you don't just believe it, you can feel it. That is something that no one can take away from you. You've made it this far because you're starting to remember something. What part of this message spoke to your soul the most? Tell me in the comments. Write it down. I am remembering who I am. I want to know who really felt this change. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you need to. You can watch videos here, but it's also a lively anchor. You promise yourself every day that you will keep walking this path of remembering and staying connected to this truth. To help get this message to people who are still forgetting, there is a special link in the first comment that has been pinned. Click on it to take part in this mission. Finally, make sure that this transmission is shared. When you do that, this light shines through you. You can share this energy with others to make it stronger in your own field and to find other people who are ready to awaken just like you on the quantum web. Here's a special video I picked just for you before you leave. That's the next key. I'll meet you there after you click on it.